September 1863. Deep in the forests of northern Georgia, two great armies prepared for one of the fiercest battles ever fought on American soil. For 2 long days, nearly 125,000 Union and Confederate soldiers clashed beneath a canopy of trees, where smoke hid friend from foe, commands were lost in the forest, and entire regiments simply vanished into utter chaos. By the time the guns finally fell silent, more than 34,000 men had been killed, wounded, or missing. It would forever be remembered as the bloodiest battle fought in the Western theater of the American Civil War. This is the story of Chickamauga. During the summer of 1863, the Union Army of the Cumberland, commanded by Major General William Rosecrans, drove Confederate forces from central Tennessee through a brilliant campaign of maneuver. General Braxton Bragg's Army of Tennessee withdrew south toward the vital railroad hub of Chattanooga. Rather than attack the city directly, Rosecrans attempted to outflank Bragg by crossing the Tennessee River. The gamble worked. Bragg abandoned Chattanooga without a fight, but the Confederate commander had no intention of retreating forever. Reinforcements soon arrived from across the South, including battle-hardened veterans from General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. For the first time in the war, large numbers of Confederate troops were transferred from the Eastern Theater to the West. Bragg now had one objective: destroy Rosecrans before the Union Army could unite. On September 19, 1863, scattered fighting erupted along Chickamauga Creek. Neither commander intended to begin a full-scale battle that morning. Instead, isolated encounters rapidly escalated into one of the largest engagements of the war. The thick forest made visibility almost impossible. Officers struggled to locate their own brigades. Orders arrived late, or not at all. Entire divisions fought blind. Throughout the day, Confederate assaults repeatedly struck the Union lines. Again and again, Rosecrans shifted reinforcements to plug dangerous gaps. By sunset, neither side had gained a decisive advantage. The armies settled into uneasy silence, knowing the next morning would decide everything. At dawn, on September 20th, the battle resumed. General Bragg ordered a series of attacks against the Union left. The fighting was relentless. Then, shortly before noon, disaster struck. Rosecrans believed a dangerous gap had opened in his line. He ordered a division to shift position. But the gap did not exist. The movement created a real opening instead. Almost at that exact moment, Confederate Lieutenant General James Longstreet launched one of the most devastating attacks of the Civil War. Thousands of Confederate soldiers surged through the unexpected breach. The Union right collapsed. Entire divisions were swept from the field. Panic spread through the army. General Rosecrans himself was carried away in the retreat, convinced the battle had been lost. For many Union soldiers, Chickamauga became a desperate struggle, simply to survive. Yet, one man refused to yield. Major General George H. Thomas gathered scattered Union units atop Snodgrass Hill. There, they formed a final defensive line. Wave after wave of Confederate attacks crashed against Thomas's position. The fighting lasted for hours. Ammunition ran low. Casualties mounted. Still, Thomas refused to retreat. His stubborn defense allowed thousands of Union soldiers to escape toward Chattanooga. As darkness fell, Thomas finally withdrew in good order. His determination earned him a new name: the Rock of Chickamauga. Without his stand, the Union army may have been completely destroyed. When the guns finally fell silent, Chickamauga had become one of the deadliest battles of the American Civil War. Union casualties exceeded 16,000. Confederate losses were nearly 18,000. Together, more than 34,000 Americans became casualties in only 2 days. Although the Confederates had won a significant tactical victory, they failed to destroy Rosecrans's army. The surviving Union soldiers retreated into Chattanooga. Bragg followed and laid siege to the city, but the campaign was not over. The Battle of Chickamauga marked the Confederacy's last great victory in the Western theater, but it would also set the stage for its downfall. Within weeks, General Ulysses S. Grant arrived to lift the siege of Chattanooga. The Union victory that followed opened the gateway to the Deep South and paved the way for General William T. Sherman's march toward Atlanta. Today, the quiet forests of Chickamauga still stand. Their trails wind through monuments, cannons, and silent fields, where thousands once fought beneath the trees. It remains a solemn reminder of the terrible cost of civil war and of the courage displayed by soldiers on both sides of the conflict.